Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
The rumblings that started out west earlier today are moving eastward. This video is from Burlington, North Dakota, which is near Minot, from about an hour ago. Besides the rain, you can see the trees waving at what looks to be a pretty strong wind.
We've been getting reports of rain, thunder, hail, and in some areas more severe than that. And behind us, you can see that we're getting some rain here in the metro right now. Let's get more on the timeline of the storms. Hutch is here now with the very latest information. Hutch?
Well, this afternoon we had some strong weather out in the west, as you just mentioned, and taking a look at a viewer photo that was uploaded. This was thanks to Nick Magnus out in the oil patch from an oil rig near Killdeer. That's a funnel cloud that did touch down and cause some damage to trees in the area. And then a little closer to home here, Carrington, southwest of town, Susan captured the leading edge of the thunderstorms that have dumped abundant rain. And speaking of Carrington, street flooding is reported in that area. So a lot of rain from these systems. Fargo, a couple of cells just fired right over the top of us. More on that in a second. An active severe thunderstorm warning continues until 10:15 for the Devil's Lake to New Rockford area for the line of cells there. We're not worried about hail, but gusty winds with this one to around 70 miles per hour. It's moving into Devil's Lake and the Highway 2 corridor right now. Heavy rain is going to continue in your area for quite some time. Jamestown inundated with very heavy rain. All the reds you see there, rainfall rates from this cell, these cells is as high as 5 to 6 inches per hour as it moves east at 30 miles per hour. Most of Stutsman County picking up significant rain with radar estimates over 3 inches in spots. There's that line from Langdon through the FM and out into parts of Wilkin County that fired up very quickly. We also have some thunderstorms firing near Sisseton that we'll have to monitor. The risk tonight, small hail generally. We are going to have gusty winds down in South Dakota. A wind warning is posted there. Flood advisories for portions of northern Stutsman and Foster County, and then the thunderstorm warning in the Devil's Lake area. We'll continue to track these, but it looks like, Mike, 11:30 to midnight, that main line pushes in. If we're lucky, we get some rain out of it, and if we can keep the hail and wind at bay, well, that would be awful nice, but we'll be here to let you know as it's approaching throughout the overnight.
I know you mentioned this about a half hour ago about the possibility of that storm front splitting. I'm looking forward to hearing you explain how that might happen later as well.
We can do that.
All right, thanks.
A bit of a scare for one Fargo family tonight when they arrived home to find a drunk and nearly naked stranger in their house. It happened close to 8 o'clock in the Jefferson neighborhood, which is south of Main Avenue and 16th Street. The homeowner called police about the intoxicated man who apparently made himself at home. And soon after, officers arrested 46-year-old David Oliver of Fargo for criminal trespassing. He's being held at the Cass County Jail.
If you've got a garage, you might want to listen up. Fargo police are reminding you of the importance of locking up because garage thieves are on the prowl.
This comes after a recent crime analysis was done in the city, showing an increase in garage thefts. Valley News Team's Joseph Ojo shares some of the things you can do to avoid becoming a victim.
It's becoming all too familiar. A post here and a post there of someone's belongings being stolen.
It makes you feel very violated that somebody would actually come into your home against all rules, and it makes you feel insecure.
Fargo PD's recent crime analysis showed that in our area, there has been an increase in garage burglaries. That's been made evident in the past few weeks after one Fargo family caught these robbers on camera taking stuff out of their garage while they were still home. And one person on Nextdoor says someone snagged a TV from their garage while they were home as well.
It's really important to make sure that your house is locked and your garage is locked as well. Before we go in and out, we always make sure that we, push our code and lock our doors.
Garage burglaries haven't only shown increase. Package thefts have as well. And officials are now urging the public to call if they notice anything suspicious.
I think one of the nice things about our neighborhood is we have some really great neighbors that are we all look out for each other.
If possible, officials say to always make sure that your packages need to be signed for when delivered, and tell us that with the help of the public, the number of thefts can decrease.
Maybe looking them over and seeing what they're up to, and if they're walking or driving, maybe get a license plate number or something.
I think just being really aware of your surroundings, knowing who is kind of coming and going, making sure that there's somebody always outside if you're having a garage sale to kind of monitor things.
Ensuring your safety is the goal of officials, and they stress locking and closing all doors, even when you're home, using apps like Nextdoor to stay informed and alert on what's going on in your community, because you never know just how far a criminal will go to get your personal item. In Fargo, Joseph Ojo, Valley News Live.
Officials say you know who and what belongs in your neighborhood more than they do, and they hope by shedding light on the increase of burglaries in our area, people will be on high alert and watch for thefts.
A father from Towner County, North Dakota, has been arrested and charged with felony child abuse for allegedly shaking a 4-month-old baby. On Tuesday, authorities responded to an apartment on Main Street in Candu for a 4-month-old infant who was having trouble breathing. An initial examination showed suspicious bruising on the baby's face and neck. The child was then transferred to Fargo and later to a children's hospital in Minneapolis. When the parents were interviewed, the father, Tristan Aisles, admitted to shaking the baby multiple times. He was arrested and was convicted and could, if he's convicted, could face up to 10 years in prison and/or a $20,000 fine. Now, the baby is said to be in stable condition and will be released to the custody of social services. Another toddler belonging to the parents is currently in custody of social services.
A Bemidji woman has been charged after police say she broke the legs of a 3-month-old while babysitting earlier this week. Bridget Stately was caught on a nanny cam grabbing the infant's feet and twisting her ankles. She also told police she used meth while watching the child. A local daycare provider knows it can be tricky when it comes to deciding who you want watching your kids, but she says you have to follow your gut. She adds, although it's easy to find childcare online like care.com, it's important to establish a personal relationship first. And when it comes to finding short-term help like babysitters, many parents advise you to do a trial run to ease your nerves about who you're leaving your kids alone with and to let the sitter and your kids get used to one another.
You get a feel for people. You have to follow your gut. And I think that mom instinct is super important.
Bridget Stately is facing charges of third-degree assault as well as child endangerment. She also has a history of domestic assault, among other charges. Her next court appearance has not been scheduled yet.
Some kids escaped a house that caught on fire in South Fargo this afternoon. It happened in the 5000 block of 8th Avenue South. A neighbor noticed the fire on the back porch and alerted the kids inside. Firefighters were able to put out the flames. Damage to the home is estimated to be about $15,000. Still no word yet on the cause of that fire.
Before the winds started to blow, people enjoyed a community picnic put on by the Fargo VFW, Post 762, and Auxiliary. Residents, as well as veterans, active, Guard, Reserve, retired, and former service members, took in the lively, patriotic gathering. The brats, hot dogs, and burgers were cooked on a unique submarine grill, which was provided by the State Veteran Affairs Office.
A friend of mine from Watford City, Jerry Samuelson, and his group out there in Watford City built this thing. And I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, what would it take you to bring this thing to Fargo? And he said, I'd be glad to do it. I think it's kind of unique. It's a tribute to our armed forces, our Navy, and our submarine force.
Information was also provided to answer questions about how best to serve our area troops, youth, and veteran populations.
It was a fun Friday night in Philadelphia as our very own Carson Wentz got his teammates from the Eagles together for a good old-fashioned softball game. It was a charity event with all funds going toward Wentz's AO1 Foundation. The former Bison QB couldn't take part in the game himself because he's still rehabbing from a torn ACL and LCL. But he did take a few practice swings. A few of the Eagles took part in the home run derby before the softball game, pitting the Eagles offense against the Eagles defense.
They all look like they're pretty good.
And good swings.
Yeah, I think so. Coming up, with technology and social media, we can tune into news anytime. Some of it is traumatic. Doctors say it could be making us sick.
And the one simple move that could help you live longer.